Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the JISH Learn English Podcast. I'm Shaylin, and thanks so much for joining me today. Have you ever been at a restaurant, excited for your meal, only to realize the server brought you the wrong dish? It can feel a little awkward, especially if you're not sure what to say in English. In today's episode, you'll learn useful phrases, sentence patterns, and vocabulary that will help you handle this situation politely, naturally, and confidently. Now, let's begin by watching a short conversation. Sarah orders the grilled chicken, but the waiter brings her the wrong dish instead. Let's see how she handles the situation.
Here you go, 1 mushroom pasta. Enjoy.
I'm sorry, but I think there's been a little mix-up. I ordered the grilled chicken, not the pasta.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Let me double check. You're absolutely right. My mistake. I'll take this back and get your chicken right away.
No problem at all. Take your time. It's really not a big deal.
Thanks so much for understanding. It'll be out in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. No worries.
Here we are, the grilled chicken. Again, I'm sorry for the mix-up.
It's fine, really. It looks delicious. Thank you.
Enjoy your meal.
Thanks, you too. Have a good shift.
Okay, now let's talk about that conversation together. Did you notice how calm and friendly Sarah was? Even though she received the wrong dish, she never became angry or frustrated. She stayed polite. And because of that, the server felt comfortable fixing the mistake. That's something I really want you to remember. In English, the words you choose can completely change the feeling of a conversation. A few kind words can make an awkward situation much easier for everyone. By the way, if you're not familiar with the word server, it's a gender-neutral term for the person who takes your order and brings your food at a restaurant. You may also hear people say waiter or waitress. Now, let's look at some of the most useful expressions from the conversation. The first phrase Sarah used was, "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a little mix-up." I really like this expression because it's polite, gentle, and very natural. Here, "I'm sorry" doesn't mean Sarah did something wrong. Native speakers often use "I'm sorry, but" simply to introduce a small problem in a respectful way. Now, what does mix-up mean? A mix-up is simply a small mistake or a little confusion. So instead of saying, "This is wrong," which can sound a bit direct, you can say, "I think there's been a little mix-up." It sounds much friendlier and more natural. Let's practice it together in your mind. "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a little mix-up." Nice! That's a sentence you'll be able to use in many different situations. Next, Sarah explained the problem clearly. She said, "I ordered the grilled chicken, but this looks like pasta." Did you notice what she did here? She didn't just point at the food and say, "This is wrong." Instead, she explained what she ordered and then compared it with what she actually received. That makes it much easier for the server to understand the mistake and fix it quickly. Here's a simple sentence pattern you can remember. I ordered the, but this looks like. For example, I ordered the chicken salad, but this looks like a burger. Or I ordered a cola, but this looks like lemonade. It's simple, clear, and polite. Sometimes the simplest English is also the most effective. The server then apologized and said, "I'm so sorry about that. Let me double check." The phrase double check simply means to check something again to make sure everything is correct. It's a really useful expression because you'll hear native speakers use it in all kinds of everyday situations. For example, someone might say, "Let me double check the address," or "I'll double check the meeting time." It's a small phrase, but it's one you'll hear again and again in everyday English. Then the server said, "My mistake." This is a short and natural way to accept responsibility. Instead of saying, "It was my mistake," people often just say, "My mistake." It's honest, friendly, and very common in everyday conversations. Now, let's look at my favorite part of the conversation, Sarah's response. She said, "No problem at all. Take your time. It's really not a big deal." These expressions are wonderful because they don't just answer the server, they also help the other person feel comfortable. No problem at all means it's okay. Take your time means don't rush, I'm happy to wait. And it's really not a big deal means the situation isn't very serious. You'll hear "not a big deal" all the time in everyday English when people want to say that something isn't worth worrying about. A little later, Sarah also said, "No worries." This is another expression you'll hear very often. It simply means "it's fine" or "don't worry about it." It's friendly, relaxed, and perfect for everyday conversations. In Australia and the UK, people say it all the time, and you'll hear it very often in the US as well. It's one of those little expressions that instantly makes your English sound more natural, more confident, and more respectful. Finally, when the correct meal arrived, Sarah smiled and said, "It looks delicious. Thank you." I love this little moment because she didn't end the conversation with just "okay." She ended it with something positive. A simple compliment and a sincere thank you let the server know there were no hard feelings. And then came the funny part. The server said, "Enjoy your meal," and Sarah almost replied, "You too." Then she laughed and quickly corrected herself. Have you ever done that? Don't worry, we all have. Even native speakers accidentally say "you too" sometimes. Little moments like these remind us that you don't have to speak perfect English to communicate well. Sometimes those tiny mistakes actually make conversations feel more natural, more relaxed, and more human. So, what should you remember from today's lesson? If you ever get the wrong food at a restaurant, don't worry, you already know exactly what to say. Start politely with, "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a little mix-up." Then simply explain what happened by saying, "I ordered the pizza, but this looks like pasta." If the server apologizes, you can respond with kind expressions like, "No problem at all," "No worries," or "Take your time." And when your correct meal arrives, don't forget to end the conversation on a positive note with something like, "It looks great, thank you." See? You don't need long or complicated sentences to communicate well. A few simple, polite expressions are all it takes to sound natural, confident, and respectful in everyday English. And that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And more importantly, I hope you feel a little more confident about handling this situation in English. Before you go, I have a question for you. Imagine you're at a restaurant and the server brings you the wrong dish. What would you say? Try writing your answer in the comments below using one or two of the expressions we learned today. I'd love to read your replies and see how you would handle the situation. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you so much for learning English with me today. I'm Shaylin from the JISH Learn English Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.